The first reading today comes as a little bit of a surprise. We've been reading Isaiah mostly, and it's all about this promise. It's all about this exuberance that's on its way, it's coming. And then all of a sudden we're reading the book of Numbers, which is, I'm going to be honest with you, not exactly as inspirational as Isaiah. And we're reading about some guy named Balaam. Who the heck is Balaam? And what's going on here? Are we still in Advent? What's this reading got to do with anything? Well, Balaam is a seer from Syria, and he's enlisted by the Moabite king Balak to weaken the powers of Israel as Israel marches through the desert. And the Moabite king is worried about their powers. So he calls on this seer to kind of bring a curse upon them. But Balaam tells Balak, I can't do that. I can only do what God tells me to do. And so despite Balak's continued pressure, Balaam cannot do it. And instead foresees the rising of a star in Israel for Jacob, of a king. Now, this is before the time of the kings. And so this has been interpreted in messianic terms. It's the rise of the Messiah, the anointed one, the first of whom, as that messianic king, would be David. Now, it's this star image that makes its way into the New Testament. When Matthew tells his story, when Luke tells his story about the star and the following of the star, many believe that it is inspired by this Balaam oracle. So, what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that Balaam will not act unless his authority comes from God. He will only follow what God will tell him to do. And that even someone outside of the tradition, outside of the tribe, outside of the nation, can be used by God for God's purposes. And we'll see more of this in the gospel when people want to know what the basis for Jesus's authority is. So that's really why the reading gets chosen today. But I miss Isaiah. Peace be with you.